Kuzampo and welcome to Bhutan This Week, our weekly news magazine program where we bring you, our viewers, all our top stories from the week. I'm Sharaf Doji and these are our top stories from the week. Cabinet extends moratorium on vehicle imports for another 6 months. Big C to set trial exam questions for classes 10 and 12. And pay hike for state-owned enterprises will be announced soon, says the Prime Minister. If you have been planning to buy a new car in the coming months, we have some bad news for you. The Finance Ministry has once again extended the moratorium on vehicle import for another 6 months. However, this time the ministry, in consultation with the central bank, has announced relief measures for authorized vehicle dealers impacted by the moratorium.
The moratorium on vehicle import was put in place in August last year with certain exceptions. The Finance Ministry imposed the moratorium on vehicle imports as a part of its effort to curb the depleting foreign exchange reserves. As per the Royal Monetary Authority's monthly statistical bulletin, the foreign currency reserves has come down to about $550 million in May this year, which is a drop of over $250 million in a year's time. Earlier this month, the authorized vehicle dealers in the country spoke to BBS and called for partial lifting of a moratorium. If the extension continued, the dealers had planned to lay off their employees. Recognizing the challenges faced by vehicle dealers, the ministry has introduced 2 relief measures aimed at supporting them to sustain until the moratorium is lifted. One of the relief measures is to defer loan repayment of the authorized vehicle dealers. The other is to explore the possibility of providing soft working capital at a concessional interest rate to meet operational expenses of the dealers. According to the notification, the ministry and the central bank are working closely to assess how the moratorium can be lifted gradually. Exempted vehicles from the moratorium are utility vehicles costing less than 1.5 million UTM, heavy earth-moving machines, and agriculture machineries. Vehicles for the use and promotion of tourism and public transportation such as taxis and buses, both fossil and electric, are also exempt from the moratorium.
When
we buy cars, it doesn't come free of cost. The money goes. The foreign reserve, which is an asset that we have made for our children in future, if we finish all of this right now, the future is very risky.
When we look at it, given the size of our country, the increasing number of vehicles is becoming very inconvenient each day. For example, when we are in a hurry and have work, it is not at all possible for us to do work due to traffic jam.
The import ban also applies to civil servants who are eligible for vehicle quota before July this year. While the Finance Ministry has suspended monetization of vehicle quota since the pandemic, the eligible person has 7 years to use the quota from their last allotment. Quota holders can also write to the ministry if they need extension to use the vehicle quota. Samtan Dolkar, BBS News.
Conjunctivitis, commonly known as pink eye, has been fast spreading across the country. According to records maintained with the National Eye Center in Thimphu, there have been nearly 9,000 cases in the country since July this year. However, health officials emphasize that people need not panic or worry about the infection as it can be prevented easily.
Doctors from the National Eye Center said that the current outbreak of conjunctivitis is a 10-fold increase compared to other months. From July till date, Serpong recorded the highest number of conjunctivitis with more than 2,400 cases, followed by Samti and Samdrupjonkar. Doctors say the infection, which was initially rampant in the southern region, has now spread to other districts. Symptoms of the infection include itchy eyes, redness, more tears, burning sensations, and discharge from the eyes.
Initially, I felt like there are some dust particles in my eyes and it became itchy. After I rubbed my eyes, they turned red. Then I also experienced discharge from my eyes. Today, I visited the hospital and I came with a sunglass to refrain from spreading it to others.
If all of us can follow the doctor's advice and wash our hands, I think we can easily prevent it. It is also important that we visit hospitals and eye centers.
The infection causes pain in the eyes. We also suffer from fever. We believe that it is better to avoid wind and wash our eyes with warm water when you have an infection. We should not panic.
Pink eye has become very rampant here. Children got infected from their school and spread it in the community. Likewise, our nearby Indian town of Jaigaon has also a lot of conjunctivitis cases.
I am worried about the condition. I am a driver and I have to travel to different places and there are possibilities of getting infected.
Doctors said the infection must have been transmitted from the neighboring border towns. According to doctors, conjunctivitis is preventable and most people can recover within 2 weeks. However, people with excessive discharge, blurriness of vision and pain should visit the nearest hospital.
The most important thing is hand washing with soap and water or using a sanitizer for at least 20 seconds. The other thing in the family you must do once somebody has conjunctivitis is separate towels and change your pillowcases often. And the linen that you use after the infected person has used it, it must be washed with warm water and soap.
The doctor recommended practicing social distancing, using personal makeup materials and contact lenses, and covering nose and mouth while sneezing and coughing to prevent the spread. With additional report from bureaus, Namgedem, PBS News.
Over 1 million fruit trees were planted across the country as the second phase of the Million Fruit Tree Plantation project drew to a close last Saturday. The closing ceremony was held at Samtilingyok in Sarpong. The 7-month project benefited over 40,000 farmers, schools, government agencies, dasas and private companies. High-value fruit trees like mandarin, macadamia nut, dragon fruit, almond, walnut, Irwin mango, pecan nut and kiwi were planted during the second phase. At the closing ceremony, the Sarpong Zonda said that the people should value these fruit trees as it is a gift from His Majesty the King to enhance the income and uplift rural livelihoods.
Every household must have received between 10 to 16 high-value fruit trees through the project. It is the responsibility of every individual to take care of the fruit trees by providing manure and water and keeping its surrounding clear of bushes.
The second phase of the project also replaced 30% of fruit plants that did not survive from the first phase.
We deployed thousands of desups in the villages to verify and account for all plants that died from the first phase. Accordingly, we replaced them in the second phase.
The Agriculture and Livestock Ministry will monitor the fruit plants to ensure its survival and to realize the vision of improving income of the farmers. The Department of Agriculture, in partnership with the Desung National Service, will conduct field surveys to check on the plant's health. The survey would be carried out in September and October for temperate plants and in November and December for subtropical plants. Based on the findings, dead or damaged plants will be replaced in February and March next year for temperate region and in June and July for the subtropical region, respectively. For Karmawandi in Sarpong, this is Sharab Doji, BBS News. Students in class 10 and 12 across the country will be appearing the same examination papers beginning this year. This is because the Bhutan Council for School Examinations and Assessment, BICSI, will be preparing the questions for the trial examinations of classes 10 and 12 this year onwards. According to BICSI, the change is to bring about uniformity and standardize the education system in the country.
Around 20,000 class 10 and 12 students across the country will be appearing the trial examinations later in October. Unlike past years, this time they will be sitting for the exam at the same time, attempting the same questions set by Big C. Big C will be sending encrypted questions via mail to schools for the trial examinations. The school administrations will be responsible to conduct the exam on the date set by Big C. According to the officiating controller of examinations, while a few challenges might arise, they will try their best to avoid any glitches in the conduction of the trial exam.
There could be concerns related to uniformity in administering the exam. And you can see that the marking of paper may vary across schools, despite the requirement for school to follow the guidelines provided by Big C. Then the other issue we can see is connectivity issue. Since Big C is going to send encrypted question through mail to schools, so if the schools do not have good internet connectivity, they will probably face the issue in downloading the questions and then getting ready for the trial examinations.
However, he said clear communication and sending the encrypted questions 2 weeks prior to the examination will help them mitigate such problems.
We need to have a clear communication with the school to ensure that they understand the SOPs for the conduct of trial examinations, and also to maintain the transparency and then hold school principals accountable for the conduct smooth and fair conduct of trial examinations.
Meanwhile, some teachers raised their concerns regarding the syllabus coverage.
From October, as the trial examinations start, we worry about the syllabus coverage. Currently, we are managing by taking extra classes in the morning, whereby the students come early to school for an hour before classes start.
According to Big C, teachers need to follow syllabus set by the school curriculum division. Meanwhile, teachers and students are positive about the change.
As a teacher, we are very happy and excited to have a same exam all over the Bhutan. That is our trial paper to be conducted for the first time. And even our children are also very excited to sit for the trial exam. And I think our children will be more confident and competent to sit for the board exams.
It will benefit us in knowing what to study, and it will help us do well in the board examinations.
I also think that it's going to be fair, as everyone in Bhutan is going to be facing the same questions.
I'm excited because this time the trial papers will be a clear depiction of what our boards are going to look like. Then we can move forward and we can work a little bit on exactly what the questions were and practice a little bit more of the type of questions that have come.
However, Big C said that the system might change after assessing its advantages and disadvantages. This is Sonam Yuden for BBS News.
Corrupt practices appear to be spreading across all levels of organizations in the country. This is according to the National Corruption Barometer Survey 2023 released by the Bhutan Transparency Initiative on Monday. The survey says people are observing a transformation in the concentration of corrupt practices. Unlike the 2020 survey, where employees in the executive level were identified as harboring the highest instances of corruption, the recent findings indicate a shift towards the lower levels of organizations.
The survey carried out by the Bhutan Transparency Initiative, a civil society organization which works towards promoting transparency, integrity and accountability in Bhutan, is to understand the corruption situation in the country based on the perceptions of the citizens. It presents information on the prevalence of various forms, labels and trends of corruption among various public service providers. According to the survey, the shift of corruption towards the lower levels of organization could mean a rapid increase in corruption, as most of the public service providers are at the lower levels.
Based on the study conducted in 2016 and as well as in 2020, this year's study also indicates that corruption in Bhutan is on a rise, it's on an increase. People are more and more conscious about corruption, and they are ready to report corruption as well as combat corruption. It's just that now concerned organizations will have to put modalities in place.
He said most people fear reporting corruption due to the lack of witness protection and invasion of the privacy of the witnesses. The key findings of the study found that the top 5 forms of corruption in order of prevalence are trading in influence, failure to declare a conflict of interest, abuse of function, concealment of corruption proceeds, and embezzlement, among others. Most of them are concentrated at the lower levels of the organizational hierarchy. Civil servants followed by the employees of local governments, private sectors, and corporations were perceived to be the most corrupt among the 12 key public service providers. Religious figures, employees of international organizations, and CSO or NGO personnel are perceived to be the least corrupt. 80% of respondents attributed the underreporting of corruption incidents to time constraints. As part of the study's recommendations, the Bhutan Transparency Initiative proposes the enactment of an act to protect and support whistleblowers who expose corruption. Collaborating with the media to disseminate information and anti-corruption policies and promoting civic engagement at the local government level are also highlighted as crucial steps toward combating corruption. The survey is carried out every 3 years. For Tseringdiki, Devika Pradhan for BBS News.
Several chute have been vandalized in Bhutan in the past few months. According to the local leaders from the district, 3 chute in Tang, Ura and Jalika were vandalized. Similarly, a small navy poda was also vandalized in Chumigyeog.
According to the Ura Cup, a chute was vandalized in Shinkar on the 4th of July. He said that the culprit has not been caught yet. Similarly, the Tang Chokpa said that a chute in Tangyeog was also vandalized about 3 months ago. The Chokpa added that they lodged a complaint to the police after the incident. The Thomdeng WhatsApp of Chamkar town also said that a chute was vandalized in Jalikar about a month ago. A small navy poda has also been vandalized in Chumigyeog, according to the Chumi Cup. The incident happened a fortnight ago. According to the Cup, the navy poda was reconstructed after it was vandalized 10 years ago. Meanwhile, the Chekor Cup said that there have been no such cases in Chekor as of now. However, he said that the Zongda has asked the local leaders to inform people in villages to be vigilant. According to the Penal Code of Bhutan, offense against Ku, Sung, Thukten and Sung is a first-degree felony, whereby a defendant will be sentenced to life imprisonment if found guilty. Tashiangden, BBS News.
The Prime Minister, in a live radio conversation on BBS last Saturday, said that the Finance Ministry is awaiting proposals on pay hikes from 2 more state-owned enterprises, SOEs, before the matter can be discussed in the Cabinet. Following the recent pay hike for public servants, the Finance Ministry has given directives to the Chief Executive Officers of 13 SOEs to submit proposals to the Finance Ministry. Proposals should include affordability and the proposed hike. The Prime Minister said that the pay hike percentage will depend on respective organizations and the Cabinet and Finance Ministry's decision. He added that the decision will be announced soon.
체력이 조용히 레진 체라 레진나기 바풍 가데베요 가데레나니기 차지요 가데베나 숲세기 쇼아피 조용히 레진나 지미슬랭가나 유미 주지 대치에서네 제미 중이 휘지 니마 휴스랍데라 아니 휘브지라 도디카라베베 행이 중수나 박티오세.
Meanwhile, the Prime Minister during the live radio session also said that the Gebojing College of Information Technology in Mongar is undergoing a major transformation. Since experts from both abroad and within the country frequently visit to facilitate the transformation works of the college, the Prime Minister said that the college has been temporarily relocated to Kabesa in Thimphu. He added that the move was necessary as the Gyalpushing College area in Mongar has limited space for renovation.
answering questions from the public live on radio. The Prime Minister said that the college lacked facilities to harness quality learning for students. The Prime Minister added that Gilpushing College is undergoing a major infrastructure upgrade.
carbon engineering college ki architecture department ki khongi ke dola tahani ke soda len phasap chabobe chabi kablu adu pesha tabobe gudio ba mitube sahani beni digitare ne kap chibe na kabisa chamena podi la ne kap chigibe.
According to the Prime Minister, a Desung training center has also been instituted at Gilpushing to simultaneously carry out construction works of the college as well as their training. The Prime Minister also added that discussions were held with experts to explore possibilities to either institute a Desung Training Center, Technology Training Center, or an ICT institute in Gilpushing. The Gilpushing College of Information Technology was inaugurated in 2017, where 79 students first enrolled in the Bachelor of Computer Application. Tashiangden, PBS News.
And that's all we have in this week's edition of the Bhutan This Week. Thank you for watching, and until next time, this is Sharaf Doji signing off.